And now, Brandon Six Boy Schaub.
What's up, fam? It is July 1st. Man, Pride Month is over, kids. Sorry for the bad news. It is July 1st, coming in hot. It's toasty out here in the valley, not going to lie to you guys. Fresh off the boat, literally fresh off the boat from Alaska. Great time. You had fun, Chin?
Yes, man. So many memories. Probably one of the best trips I've ever had. So,
Agree.
Thank you very much.
Agree. I know. It's, I hate leaving the house. I hate traveling. It wasn't the easiest place to get to. You fly, so you go LA to Seattle to Ketchikan, Alaska. Ketchikan, Alaska is basically the town from 30 Days of Night, if you remember that film. And then you take a puddle jumper plane, like on Chippendale Rescue Rangers, or Tailspin, for those of you that remember the cartoon. You take a puddle jumper from Ketchikan to a remote part of Alaska. And so it was a lot. It was a lot. Oh, and then you also got to take a boat to take the plane. Either way, it was a good time. It was good. It was worth the hassle of all the travel. And it's tough to get me to go anywhere. And I said, I'll only go if they bring my son. And straight up, might be the most fun he's ever had. This dude, I was worried about him because you're on the boat, you're up at 5 a.m., you're on the boat around 6 a.m., you're on that boat from 6 about 4:30 p.m., 5 p.m. It's a long day for an 8-year-old. It's a long day for a 41-year-old who's not that into fishing. And I was super worried about him. Man, he probably had the best time of anybody.
Yeah, without a doubt.
First day catching all those fish.
Yep.
I enjoyed a little too much killing the fish because when you get them off the boat, you got to hit them with a mallet. He did it Goodfellas style. They're like, okay, enough. I'm like, hey, dude, they want to eat that thing. It's mushed up now. What are you doing?
5 more shots. Bam, bam,
And
bam.
anytime somebody catch a fish, he'd be like, I'm killing it. I'm like, whoa, hey, Dahmer, chill over here. Great time. Yeah. Absolutely one of the best experiences I've had. I'm not even a big fisher, but I had so much fun. Caught some big ass halibut, caught a lot of rockfish. I'm sure we'll get into it on Firing the Kid, but I'm so glad I went. It was such a good time with me and my son. Got a lot of fish, and Alaska's beautiful. It's weird how it doesn't turn night there.
Yeah,
It's
it
not normal.
looks dope, though. Like around 10, 11, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It's bright outside. It just never turns dark. It's wild. Seeing bald eagles, like straight up bald eagles.
Yeah.
Eventually you just became accustomed to it. Like, hey, I see it. Like a bald eagle, killer whales, humpback whales, sea lions. We saw brown bears just strolling around on the shores. Deer were coming up to the lodge. It's like straight up Jurassic Park style, man. It's cool. It was really cool, man. We'll get into it. Finding the Kid, though. But it wasn't all fun and games over the weekend. I had to rush back from Alaska, go to a funeral. College roommate that we played football with passed away. So that was a tough one. That it went from a great time in my life to very dark. But yeah, so I landed from Alaska and then 5 a.m. drove down to San Diego to meet up with my guys, college buddies and football buddies. And then buddy passed away, man. Addiction's a hell of a thing, Addiction's a hell of a thing. So that was a tough one. That was tough. So I still made it in time to watch the main card, though. Still watched the prelims this morning and then made the main card. I made it right when Michael Venom Page was walking out. Rushed in and bought the pay-per-view and made it. So, if I knew the card was going to be like this, I probably would have taken my time instead of flying at 120 miles an hour on the highway. But I was mostly excited for that Ian Garry fight and Michael Venom Page. There's a reason why everyone's like, how is this not co-main event? This could be a main event. And Maynard and the boys, the UFC brass, were worried that this was going to happen. For Ian Garry and Michael Venom Page, and obviously I've been pretty high on Ian Garry. Michael Venom Page, legend. If you don't know who he is, come from Bellator and stuff like that. Complete one of a kind, 1%er, an absolute savage, so unique, so gifted. And to beat Michael Venom Page is freaking hard. I know he's over in Bellator, and it's not the same as the competition in regards to the UFC. But even in Bellator, like, he's tough. It's not easy to get a win against the guy. It's just not. So for Ian Garry, he fancies himself a striker. We haven't seen a lot of grappling out of him, but he does have those abilities. We just haven't really seen it. But going into this fight, this is my concern, that it could have been boring, and boy, was I right there. There's never an exciting or pretty way to beat Michael Venom Page. Like, if you look at his 2 losses, they're snooze fest. The one against Lima was okay. He ended up getting the win and finishing Michael Venom Page, I think TKO, but later in the rounds, but not like
Logan Storley, he was,
Storley was, that was a straight snooze fest. But unfortunately, that's what you got to do. So as much as, when this fight was announced, like, oh my God, it's going to be great. But also it had a high probability of being really boring. So for Ian Garry, what a feather in your cap. My God, you beat Michael Venom Page. 2 guys have done it in MMA. Obviously, Mike Perry beat him in bare knuckle, but take that away. In MMA, he's a freaking tough puzzle to solve. I think for Ian Garry, part of the hate on him, is the confidence he has in himself, and obviously the personal issues that everyone wants to get into, which is so strange to do. But just on paper, what Ian Garry getting a win over Michael Venom Page is massive. Now, did he earn more fans with this win? No. But also, if you look at the way the UFC has kind of set this guy up, he's not exactly set up for success the way they're giving him these matchups. Daniel Rodriguez, sure. That's a fun one. Daniel Rodriguez with his boxing. Ian Machado's going to flourish in that. He got the head kick KO, right? Amazing fight. Neil Magny, it's tough to look great against him. He's impossible to finish unless you're a super high-level jiu-jitsu guy. So we knew that one was going to go to decision. But even though that went to decision, he absolutely manhandled Neil Magny, which was impressive. We're like, all right, with the leg kicks, right? We're like, God, stop the fight. That was cool. And then obviously he goes through the whole turmoil with the wife and all that gossip, Real Housewives of the UFC bullshit everyone likes to harp on. And then he gets Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal, not an easy customer either. And he beats him split decision, but it wasn't, again, it's not a fight where you're going to build hype. It's not a fight where you're going to starch the dude. It's just not the matchup. So if you look at his matchups, Daniel Rodriguez, that's a fun one. He's going to get it done. Neil Magny, good luck. Tough to finish. Smart dude, high IQ, can be very tough to get a head kick KO or land a big right hand, knock his ass out. The way he finished Neal's with high level jiu-jitsu, that's not Ian Garry. So odds are that thing goes to decision. But even he dominated him, so people are like, yeah, he might be the guy. Jeff Neal, tough day in the office, man. Not easy. So I think part of the issue why people aren't as high on Ian Garry as they should be is the matchup. The matchmaking for Ian Garry has not been in his favor. Now, he's been the favorite in the fights. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as far as giving him the matchups in order for him to build the hype and get these knockouts that you guys want to see. So it's a tough thing, but remember, he's 50. He is undefeated in the UFC. He's undefeated overall. And Michael Venom Page, I think they had him ranked at 13 or 15. That we all know he's better than that. I mean, he's a top 5 guy, and he beat him. So he went from Jeff Neal. So he went from Daniel Rodriguez, Neil Magny, who's perennial top 15 guy, who's beat some great guys in the division, to Jeff Neal, who's always tough, and then you get Michael Venom Page, who's, let's be honest, top 6 guy. He beat him. And he almost finished him in the first round. Damn close. And he's not even like a submission artist. Had his back, dominated him that first round. Could give it a 10-8. If you're Dana White, I think he gave Ian Garry 10-8 there and then gave Michael Venom Page the second round, third round, which is wild. So
I think Dana said he thought it was a draw.
And that's how that would go.
Okay.
So first round, 10-8. Then second round,
10-8.
MVP. And then third round, MVP. So you have 10-8. So that'd be a draw. You know what I'm saying? So I think this also hurts the hype of Ian Machado Garry and takes away from what he did, because again, this is such a tough matchup, and look at Michael Venom Page. Like, he has to have a particular opponent that's going to engage in that kind of fighting style in order to get finished, in order to beat him. And so it's just, if he loses, it's not fun, man. And so for people to be upset at Ian Machado Garry, dude, good luck, man. And I think Ian Machado Garry, because he's young, right? And he's this kid who talks the talk, walks the walk. Obviously, he's, his North Star is Conor McGregor, and that's all fine and dandy. And I think he truly believes that it's his goal, it's his destiny to be world champion, be the number one guy. And he's like, I'm a better striker than Michael Venom Page. I'm faster. I'm quicker than Michael Venom Page. And then you get in there, and you can see after that, even the second round, when he looked at the corner, it's like, yeah, dude, that ain't real. Dude, not even remotely close, faster. All good. And the point of mixed martial arts, now we're seeing the Alex Pereiras of the world, and we're seeing the Leon Edwards. Look at all the divisions. Besides 55, it's a lot of high-level strikers. So we're seeing them and the UFC match them up with other high-level strikers, and they're getting these knockouts. But that's also because those guys can't really wrestle or grapple. So for Ian Machado Garry, when you're fighting a guy like Michael Venom Page, if you want to risk it and get the fan base on board and just play that game, and which just plays into the hands of Michael Venom Page, and try and have a kickboxing match and striking match, you could do that. It's just not smart. But if again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if your number one goal is to win this fight, his camp day one, it seemed like they probably made this adjustment. This goal, number one, first day camp, when you look at a video of Michael Venom Page, he's not the best grappler. You're not Khabib, but you're a hell of a lot closer to Khabib than Michael Venom Page is when it comes to grappling. So do we have an advantage in striking? Even if you believe that you do, maybe that's up for debate. The answer is no. But maybe your team's so balls deep into what you do, they truly believe you have an advantage striking. Okay, maybe you do, but even that's up for debate, even amongst your team and family. You might have an edge. It's going to be close, but okay, maybe you're better at this. But what we know for a fact is you're better at grappling. We know that for a fact. There's no doubt. Bar none, you're better at grappling, wrestling than he is. So your chances to win are going to be over here. You're not going to win any fans doing it, though. You're not. But if the goal is to win, it's mixed martial arts. You can't worry about what the social media is going to say and all that stuff. If the goal is to win, you grapple against Michael Venom Page. Because if not, you're going to get knocked out. And if he would have had an ego involved and decided to play that striking game, Michael Venom Page, he was going to get knocked out. Because Michael Venom Page didn't throw a lot of shots. The ones he did landed. It'd been a tough night in the office for Ian Machado Garry. Then he loses, then you're at the bottom of the queue. But now you got to win. You didn't impress anybody. You didn't gain any more fans. But also remember, in a year from now, that's still a W. Most people are like, oh, damn, he beat Michael Venom Page. You're not going to remember that it was this kind of grappling game plan to get it done. So I think it was smart. I know, it's not that it stops the hype, but you didn't get any more. But as far as a strategic standpoint, you did your job. Also, 10-8 for that first round, I could see it. So close. If we're giving 10-8s out like that, okay, cool. Let's just call it 10-9. Second round, he landed those big shots. Michael Venom Page did. So you give Michael Venom Page that second round. Third round, I'm having a hard time. I mean, with all due respect to Dana, when he's like, I had it a draw, it's like he had his back for that amount of time. And Michael Venom Page, because he doesn't have the skill sets when it comes to grappling, Ian Machado Garry, anybody else that has a purple belt to brown belt, Ian Machado Garry was so high on his back, that's pretty easy to shake him off. So you can be mad at Ian Machado Garry for staying there. You should be more mad at Michael Venom Page not having the experience and the skill set to shake a guy off who's high on your back. Because Ian Machado Garry, he's primed to get shooken off and fall over the top. So you can throw your hate at Ian Garry. That's fine. You should be more mad at Mike Venom Page. But also, and most people watching this know this, but for the casuals that don't, when it comes to grappling, the most dominant position, especially when in the judge's eyes, would be mount. Right? You see a guy in mount, you're like, oh my God, he's so dominant. He's going to rain down punches or go for a submission. That's a big one. Second to mount would be the back in order to get a finish. It's not side control. It's not half guard. It's none of that stuff. It's not guard. The second most dominant position when it comes to grappling in mixed martial arts would be when you have their back. So how anyone scores that round for Michael Venom Page is just, I think the vitriol, the hate for Ian is blinding a lot of people to A, how good this win is, and B, the first round where I thought he was going to finish him in the first minute of the fight. That was an amazing round. Second round had some issues and realized you're not a better striker. You're just not. You start grappling. The third round, to have his back that long, how the hell anybody can score that for Venom Page is wild to me. Wild. And again, I know you guys want a knockout. You want somebody to get, a finish, or you don't like Ian Machado Garry because of the nonsense, made up media stories about his family. I get all that. But when you look at it black and white, that fight wasn't that competitive. First round, second round. First round, all day, Ian Machado Garry. Second round, he maybe landed 8 significant shots. He made it count when he did it, but it's not a ton. And third round, it's pretty easy. First, third for Ian Machado Garry. Let's move on. Didn't build the hype, but got the job done. Undefeated. Here's the shame is if they would have gave him a legit, the number 15th ranked guy, and he had kicked, or not even, let's say he's not even ranked. Let's say they gave him number 20 welterweight in the world, and he went out there and 30 seconds head kicked him. The hype would have been built, which is so stupid, but that's the world we live in. The hype of Ian Machado Garry would have become even more. People are like, oh, he's the next best thing. He's the next insert whoever. They would have loved it. And the UFC would be like, this next guy, and they'd be talking about his matchup, and, oh, I think he's ready for a title shot or Shavkat or whatever. But he beats Michael Venom Page, and because he came from Bellator, had one win over Kevin Holland, and maybe the writers, whoever's doing these stupid rankings, don't put him in the top 6 when we know he's a top 6 guy. So you beat Michael Venom Page, who's ranked, where they have him on there? Keep going down. 14, which is so stupid, but so they have him 14. And you beat him by decision when he's probably a top 5 guy. You beat him by decision. The way it works in the UFC right now, it would have done more for your career in your next matchup if you would have knocked out the number 50th guy in the first 30 seconds. That would have done more for your career, which is so stupid. I don't agree with it. This is the world we live in. You beat Michael Venom Page. Guys lost twice. You know how insane that is? He's a young kid, too. He didn't do it the way you wanted, but it's still impressive, man. We'll see how the UFC judges it. It's never good when Dana said he thought it was a draw. That's just hating on Ian Machado Garry. He's upset the way the fight went like that. The whole card overall, like the prelims on ESPN were great, mainly finishes, and then Feely Cup Swanson was fight of the night. So those prelims were lit. I watched them this morning. Those were great. The early prelims were a complete snooze fest. And the main card sucked, straight up. Main card was awful until the main event. Let's take a little break, kids, and then we'll get back to all the 303 chit-chat. When I started podcasting, an online store was the furthest thing from my mind. Even doing this giveaway truck, I was like, how do I even get started? I got to sell merch and kind of keep track of everything with the raffles and all that and the entry and all that. Someone said, try Shopify. I went, what? They said, it's so easy. That's what we do. We use Shopify. All right. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the I get an idea, I want to do a giveaway truck stage to the first real life store stage to the, oh my God, did we just hit 1 million order stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. For Drive Fast All Gas, we are actually using Shopify. We're powered by Shopify. They sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Plus, their extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase, now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Schaub. Cha-ching. And that's why you're not going to hear people too critical on this UFC 303 card because all you remember is the main event. That's why the main event's so important. That's why Ian Machado Gary and Michael Venom Page was never even considered for the main event because it had a good chance of ending like it did. That's why they did that. But that card was, terrible, terrible. Awful. And it happens. Nothing anybody can do. It's no disrespect to the guy. Sometimes that's the way it goes. It's just sometimes matchups and, this card was just bad luck. Brian was there. He's bad luck. So it's like, it's just the way it goes. Just the way it goes, man. It's just the way it goes sometimes. Nobody can do anything about it. Roman versus Anthony Smith. I don't know what's going on there, man. I don't know. Probably the worst fight on the card, Short notice. Anthony Smith thought he was getting a big name. Then you give him a middleweight, All right. And they're former teammates, like too friendly. Anthony Smith looked a little sleepy. He's a savage, but that just wasn't, I don't know. Then Diego Lopez, Dan Ige. Imagine Diego Lopez. He thought he was fighting number 3 ranked, guy at 45. And they went, cool. The fight's actually going to be at 55. And even then, Diego Lopez is like, all right, cool. I'll still do it. And then day of, actually, it's not even at 55. You're not fighting the number 3 guy. You're fighting Dan Ige, who's ranked way lower. You're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and it's at 65. So it's going to do nothing for you in the queue, I'm glad he still fought. Thought he was going to fight. Dan Ige is an absolute BMF for this. But, where's Dan Ige ranked 13. At? 13. Yeah, he's supposed to fight number 3. Did the UFC a solid, though. Dan Ige's a savage. He even won a round. Dan Ige's still ranked higher than Diego Lopez. But for Diego, this is his coming out party, right?
Yeah, and then Tuesday they always do the refresh.
Yeah. So they'll put, I don't know what they're going to do with Diego. But Diego, they thought they was going to put him in the queue. He's the next guy. And it's like, nah, man. And with Brian Ortega, because remember, he thought he was going to fight in September, and he told the UFC he wanted to fight at 55. So his plan, and he's a bigger dude, especially for 45. So his whole plan was never to cut to 45. Then they give him short notice, and he's fighting at 45 against Diego Lopez. And apparently it was a tough cut, even though Diego Lopez agreed to 55, and they couldn't make 55. Was he sick? I don't know. Usually what happens with this stuff. And, the commission was like, nah, man, I think Brian Ortega was just too heavy because he's planning to fight at 55. Couldn't make 55. So, he's probably really heavy. And the UFC was like, hold up. No, we can't have a guy who's 170 fighting a guy who weighed at 45. That's too much of a discrepancy. It's not happening. So then Dan Ige got the call. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully they're not too harsh on Brian Ortega and they put him on that Mexican sphere card, that Mexican Saudi Arabian sphere card. Yep. It's so strange. And then Alex Pereira, Jiri. Does it again. Answered the bat signal. When they need somebody to save 300, he answered the call. Need somebody to definitely save 303, answers the call. This is why he's my number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He fights at different weight classes. He fights for titles, and he finishes people on short notice, regular camp. So my pound-for-pound fighter, it's a month-to-month thing. It's not over the year. It's literally like it could change next month. It just at that time, right now, walking this earth, the best pound-for-pound fighter who proves it is Alex. Because he's consistent, he's active as a champion, right? He's super active. He's defending his belt. He's doing it on short notice. He's doing it when he's hurt. He's doing it when he's doing seminars in Australia. To me, the pound for pound is a guy that's active. So, Dana, again, it's okay to disagree with him. Doesn't mean I hate him. Don't start all that shit again. So when Damon Martin was like, do you still have Jon, your pound for a pound? He's like, yes, it's not even close. And he was like, well, he's been inactive. He's like, oh, he was injured. Inactive means inactive. It doesn't matter if you're refusing to fight, if you're bulking up for heavyweight, if you rolled your ankle, if you failed a drug test. If you're inactive, you're off the pound for pound ranking. I don't care what it is. Yeah, but he was hurt. That's why. I don't care. Alex isn't hurt. That's why he's ranked higher. I know, but think if Jon's not fighting. One guy is. So the other one's not even in the race. If you're not in the race, there's no conversation. He's the greatest of all time. Agree. Pound for pound's different. Pound for pound is as of July 1st. One guy has been active. One guy has won championship, defend his belt, been active 4 times in the 12 months. The other guy hasn't fought in fucking forever. And when he did, he went in there against a grappler. I'm sorry, he went in there against a French guy who can't grapple, and we don't know how good he is. One guy's active, super active. And he's fighting guys who can also strike. Some can grapple, and he's getting finishes. But he's active. So when you go, well, Jon's pound for pound. Really? Over the guy who fights at middleweight, fights at light heavyweight, wants to fight at heavyweight. How's that not your pound? He's over 3 weight classes. Yeah, but Jon was light heavyweight 4 years ago, dude. I'm talking as of July 1st. Who's pound for pound? Makhachev, though. Really? How active is he? Yeah, but he's defending his belt against the 145er who ballooned up and took the fight on 8-day notice. Okay. First fight they thought he lost. Okay. Again, pound for pound's all relative. You might have an argument for all of it. But when Dana, you know how dumb of a grown man you have to be? But again, it's all what, like, your criteria for pound might be different than somebody else's. Doesn't mean anybody's dumb. And if you're arguing Makhachev, cool, whatever you want. I think Alex is, because what he's doing and how he's getting it done and how he's doing on short notice. So I take priority over that than, a guy that fights twice a year with full camps and fought a 45er, or all right. Nobody's wrong. It's all relative. It's all perspective. Whatever you value most, that you're right. Again, I don't think you call people dumb because they think Jon is number one. He's just not active enough for me. My criteria, you have to be active all the time. Now, when Jon fights in Madison Square Garden, say he starches Stipe, that's a tough argument, because Stipe hasn't fought for fucking forever, and Alex probably will fight in November too. So, but again, this could change next month. If Islam fights soon, it could be Islam, so it's all good. If you're even in the conversation, you're crushing it. That's the thing. It's so disrespectful. You don't have Islam number one? What? No, I mean, I'm open to the debate. To even be in those conversations means you're an absolute badass. There's no disrespect. And here's the thing about Alex Pereira is, I'll be completely honest. And if you go back and listen to the shows, and this is why his team was upset with me, is I thought he was getting handpicked matchups early on, and he got pushed to the front of the queue. And we really haven't seen that. And I said, he's not going to even beat a top 5 guy. They're just pushing him because Izzy, is running circles around the division. So they're just giving Izzy fresh meat. Dead wrong. It's all good to be wrong. Thank God I was wrong. Thank God I was wrong. I mean, this guy is something special, man. Something super special. It's insane. People are like, oh, he hasn't been tested. He is getting handpicked fights. Jan wasn't an easy fight, man. Jiri isn't a fucking walk in the park. He's fighting some tough dudes. Some really tough dudes. Yeah, Yuri's he's done work. Also, I know people saw, when he lost to Alex, people thought it was stopped too early. But he did beat Rakic, who's no punk. And that was a war. So he's coming off the Rakic win. And then what Alex did to him, boy, that was tough, dude. That was tough. I love Jiri. Jiri might be, Jiri right now to me reminds me of Gustafsson where they're so Gus Finn, as far as the talent, not the fundamentals, and Gus Finn was a technician. Yuri's wild, dude, wild, and when you get to a certain level, it catches up with you, and that's what's happening, I think. But he reminds me of Gus Finn because if there's no Jon Jones, he was just born at the wrong time. If he came 5 years later, 5 years earlier, Gus Finn's the number one light heavyweight champion of the world for a long time. It just so happens your kryptonite's there at the exact same time. Ain't that a bitch? Yuri, same way. He'd be your reigning champ for a while now. But this guy, Alex Pereira, decided to go up to light heavyweight, and you can't beat him. He does everything you do better. Ain't that a bitch? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Alex's team came out and said, we were watching the video, he had his hands down when he checks a low kick. I like that story, and it's fun. He has his hands down no matter what. You could use that for any scenario. He always has his hands down. That's the way he fights. And he has some great wins, and he's super successful at it. But eventually, when you meet a high level striker, you just can't get away with it. And that's what's going on. With rack kick, dude, savage. You can get away with it. Certain guys, you can get away with it. With an absolute tip of the spear kickboxer, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Now, maybe they realize his hands are down when, he checks leg kicks. His hands are down. It's very rare they're up. He's doing a lot of head movement. Maybe they saw his body mechanics when he throws a leg kick that sets up that crow cop high kick. But to say we realized when he checks the low kicks, his hands come down. It's like his hands come down when you throw a jab. His hands come down when you breathe. He's not a high, tight guard type of dude ever. So, it was impressive. It's fucking wild, dude. Wild. And that left hook at the end of the first round, my God. Herb Dean was like, let him die. He's just out of position. I'm telling you, I think it's the shoes, bro. I've said this forever. People gave me shit when I, hit Crow Cop that second time after hit him with the right hand. That's on her, baby. It's the shoes. I think they're Skechers or New Balances. Dude, you got to get a better grip shoe. I don't know. They need to make his own shoe. Cage grip. Hey, I'm Herb Dean. You ever seen anybody getting knocked unconscious, just can't get there fast enough? If I'm a shoe company, I'm pitching that thing, man. He's just out of position. He's not there. Could shed some pounds, and just get there, bro.
Shed some pounds too.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt, if I'm Herb, I'm just in the gym doing the fucking shuttle drill, just a 5-10-5 in my ref outfit. I'm just fucking touching cones, going with a whip. I'm doing my thing, dude. You got to get there, bud, because Yuri didn't need that last couple shots, And then they just stand him up. God, dog. And then the whole, voodoo or black magic, what do they call it? The Chama or Charma, what the hell they're calling it without Chama, with Alex Pereira. It's like, it's no different than someone who's super religious, It's no different than a guy who's like, I give all power to God. So for years, he's using black magic. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, he's going to get knocked out. He thinks Alex is only winning because he does black magic. Oh, you're going to lose, bud. You're going to lose. Yeah, if you think black magic is the reason he's whooping everybody's ass, and you don't think it's because he spent endless hours in the gym perfecting his kickboxing, you're fucked. It's no different than some guy being like, all my strength and my endurance comes from Jesus. There's no difference. So when Yuri was going, man, it's this black magic, and he's praying and doing, I'm like, oh, bud, you're fucked. And I was a little worried. And Alex, when they show him in the back, and they're like doing that dance. I'm like, oh, he's a little too comfortable. This isn't good. Did you guys see it on Twitter? UFC was like, Alex, ready to go. And they're like doing the fucking, fucking bear shuffle or whatever, like the Chicago Bears shuffle, the touchdown shuffle. I was like, oh, no, dude, he's a serious dude. What's going on here? And then even his walkout, I was like, he looks a little like tired. Yeah, when I saw him dance, I'm like, I don't like this. But what do I know? That worried me. And he didn't get the memo to do the spin? Yuri's in the back going, this is magic. This is black magic. I'd look in the back like, oh, he's not taking this very serious. But it does it. He's such a savage, dude. Now, here's what's interesting about Alex Pereira is if you look at the matchups that people are forecasting for his future. So let's say he were to go to heavyweight, which I have some reservations about, but let's say we were to go to heavyweight. Just look at the potential matchups there. And I don't think you can give him a regular dude, not champion. What he's done for his level of superstardom, I don't think you can give him like a Volkov or a Almeida or a Tiberia or Tai Tuivasa. I just don't. That's not going to do it for where he's at, the level. He's the biggest star in the UFC right now. Take Conor out of it. We know he's massive. I'm just saying, as far as active guys, he's bigger than Jones. He's bigger than Izzy right now. He's the guy, and numerics show that. So I don't think you can just toss him in there with a Pavlovich or Cyril Gane. I think so. It's going to have to be for a belt. It's going to have to be a championship fight. So if you were to move to heavyweight, he would fight Aspinall. If Aspinall beats Curtis Blades, right? Let's say he does, for argument's sakes, and he's the favorite. So let's say the odds are right. Aspinall wins in Manchester and beats Curtis Blades. So you do an Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. Pereira's an underdog there. Pretty sizable underdog, right? So with UFC, the UFC, to me, the UFC, what they do with Pereira next is it has to be so well thought out. Now, can he beat any of these guys? 100% he can. I'm saying from an odd standpoint, the UFC is in a tough predicament because no matter what you do, he's an underdog. For a reason. He's an underdog. So if he goes to heavyweight, Aspinall. Can he knock him out? Yeah. He weighed 230 pounds after weigh-ins. So if he was at heavyweight, he doesn't cut. Say he's 235-ish, 237. Pretty good heavyweight size. That's pretty damn good. Against Aspinall, he's an underdog. So if you don't go Aspinall, and let's say Jones, this poor Aspinall. Let's say Jones beats Stipe, which he's a heavy favorite. Does Jones stick around and you do Jones and Alex Pereira? Your biggest fight would be Jones, Alex Pereira. If they're, right now, if Jones wins, you have the UFC has their straight undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones, who was light heavyweight champion of the world, the GOAT, and you have Alex Pereira there. Alex would be an underdog. So if he's at heavyweight, whether it's Aspinall or Jones, he's a dog. If he stays at light heavyweight, what are our options? Ankalaev. He's a dog. He's a dog there. No matter who he fights, he's an underdog. But this is what, makes legends when you're an underdog. People say, oh, he can't grapple. I think you'd be surprised. I saw even Jones talking about Alex, and he's like, just take him down. What if you don't, though? Question for the viewers out there, listeners, and for the people in this room. If Jiri and Jones were to fight after Jones beats Stipe in November, let's say they fought in February, March of 2025, and Alex knocked out Jon Jones in the first round with a left hook. Possible. Is Alex the greatest of all time?
Yes.
Yes. Chin?
I mean, if you knocked out Jon Jones, of course, dude. I'm trying to think of anyone else that's plus three belt. That's never happened in the UFC, right? So
Be a 3-belt champion. Shortest amount of fights to get, what he's doing. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is the body of work of Jon and the level of guys he fought to not only remain the light heavyweight champ, but also the come up. Like, he fought everybody. Like, the whole body of work is wild. So would you just throw that to the side? Because remember, Jon's also older. But Alex isn't young. He turns 36, 37 today, I think.
That's what I was going to say. The argument hinges on if you believe that Jon Jones today is still in some form of his prime. If you believe he's past it.
He's past it. I mean, he's still, Jon past his prime is still better than 99.9% of the roster. So there's no way he can say, no, he's just as good when he was 27. Now you're out of your fucking mind. So it's a kind of a watered down version of him. I think we don't know how good Jon is at heavyweight, even if he mops the floor with Stipe. I saw a stat, now that Andrei Arlovski retired.
Well, he's kicked out of the UFC, but
he's out of the UFC. Stipe hasn't fought a guy that's still signed under the UFC. He doesn't have one guy on his resume who's still active in the UFC. So if Jon beats him, an older Stipe, what do we find out about Jon at heavyweight? I don't know.
We need to see the Aspinall fight.
The Aspinall fight, we know exactly where he's at. Or Curtis Blades, you know exactly where he's at. Sorgan, we found out, no, we don't know. He looked out of shape. It's a perfect matchup. And if you're the UFC, if you're gonna risk Alex Pereira, who's your biggest star, right? If you're gonna risk him being your biggest star, wouldn't you rather him, if he would, the risk to reward here, wouldn't you rather him lose to the greatest of all time, Jon Jones, at heavyweight, and then go, yeah, it's Jon Jones. He's going back to light heavyweight. Or, let's say it's competitive. You go, yeah, he's going to fight Tom Aspinall. Or there's at least you still have options. Because if you give him to Ankalaev and he loses, there's no heavyweight. No, we don't see him at heavyweight. He's going to be stuck at light heavyweight. If you give him Aspinall and he loses that, well, the mega fight with Jon's gone. So I just think if you're in the boardroom in your McMahon this morning, you're waking up, you're like, all right, he's an underdog in all three scenarios. What's going to be the biggest fight possible? Which is going to, not shoot his balloon down of stardom the most? Like, how can we still, so the fan base still like, yeah, but, it'd be Jon Jones. You do Jon Jones, Alex Pereira in 2025 for the undisputed heavyweight title. Now, poor Tommy Aspinall. And I love Tom Aspinall. But I'm saying from a business standpoint, the UFC's probably going, he's an underdog in both. Now, I think he beats Ankalaev. I think he beats him. So they might do that next. That's his best, and odds are to win, to get a win next would be that. But it's going to be so interesting what the UFC. My whole point of all this weird rant is he's an underdog no matter what route they go. If those are the three choices. Now, if Aspinall loses to Curtis Blades, you're not going to do Curtis with Alex. A straight up brutal wrestler who's not a huge name. There's no way. But if Aspinall wins, and if the odds are right, you have your choices are Ankalaev, Aspinall, and Jon Jones. And I would do Jon Jones. Because you're giving the dude the first time ever to be a triple champ. And he would be arguably the best fighter ever in combat sports if he beat Jon Jones. If he knocked out Jon Jones with a left hook in the first round to become heavyweight champion, and he was middleweight champion. Think about that. He was middleweight champion. He beat Strickland. He beat Izzy. And he was a light heavyweight. Look at his run there. Beat Jan, beat Jiri twice. And then he goes to heavyweight and knocks out Jon. I don't know if I stick around anymore. Check, please. There's nowhere to go from here. I guess if Jon wants a rematch, he can catch these nuts, Other than that, I'm out. Yeah, if he became triple champion, he beat Jon Jones by head kick, he still wouldn't be more famous than Conor McGregor, but his credentials would surpass, and it would never happen again. And that's the shit I live for. That's why I want him versus Jon. So Ankalaev, again, he's an underdog. He loses that one, all the heavyweight stuff out the window. He could go to heavyweight. You give him Rosenstruck, you give him Volkov. Hopefully he wins those fights. But you lose your biggest star. If our biggest star is going to lose, and we can still make him a mega star and do all the media behind it and the marketing, If he loses the greatest of all time, he gets taken down and tapped out. All good, baby. Now we go back to light heavyweight. Here's Ankalaev. Or here's Tommy Aspinall now. That's the calculated smart move, is Jon Jones next. And he makes life-changing money.
Like literally next. So he wait out for the Stipe Jon Jones fight, or hopefully that doesn't happen, then he replaces. Hopefully that's...
You'll be waiting a hot second, aren't
Yeah.
you? But he's been so active, and he likes to be active. This is what you got to appreciate about Alex, is he realizes he's 36, 37, and time is of the essence. So he's just down for whatever. And he goes, I got to capitalize while it's hot. Because the fight game, and you're 36. Statistically, this is not the time you get better. He is, in some weird world, he's getting better. But for how long? Sometime by next year, could be Cinderella. Turn a pumpkin, dude. It's not going to be fun. So he wants to capitalize on it. Yeah, they're going to have to make some decisions. They're going to have to make some decisions. Now, Stipe gets hurt, that's 100% your fight. That's what you do. If John beats the brakes off Stipe, it's like a one-round domination. Oh, we doing this in January, Daddy. We're doing this in February. If it's a war, that messes up problems. Hopefully it's not. Straight up. God, the promo behind that would be so wild. And then what's that mean? Even for John, it's worth the risk. Even for John. Hey, this is the face of the UFC right now. He's the biggest star. You have such a grappling advantage. He's the boogeyman. He's the number one knockout artist in the world. And we're putting all the marking behind him. You're this GOAT. You want one more fight? There you go. And then John, and it could very well be John goes in there, trips, side control, crucifix, elbow, stops the fight, peace. Oh, that's it? That was the guy supposed to beat me? I'm out. Dope story for John, too. It's a win-win.
I'm looking up
John Alex, do it. Book it. Let's take another little break, then we get back to all the fisticuffs chat, because this episode of the Shop Show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you listening right now, you're like, man, insurance is such a freaking hassle. It's exhausting. What if I told you drivers saved by switching to Progressive save nearly $750 on average? And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and so much more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year, so you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at Progressive.com to join over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, national average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations. Progressive.
So I saw this article on Essentially Sports, and apparently Jon Jones reacted to all the MMA fans asking him if he could fight Pereira. And this is
So it says recently Jon Jones reacted after the MMA community challenged him to take on Alex Pereira. The heavyweight champion took to social media to explain that he is willing to give Pereira a chance, but on one condition. When I beat Stipe, I might give Alex a chance, but only if he beats Aspinall. In any case, it would be an easy night for me. I don't like that. So wait, you want Alex to take care of Aspinall?
No.
Because if I'm John, this makes no sense, dude. Because you want Alex to beat the guy that we think can beat you? It's just another way he's avoiding Aspinall. I don't like that. From John's standpoint, he's probably going, it makes Aspinall a bigger star. I want to become a bigger star. If he beats Alex, then he's a bigger star, and then I'd fight, Aspinall. But I don't like that. Nah, man, we got to hit while the iron's hot. No, we don't have time for this Aspinall shit. No. You fight Alex right now. It'd be an easy night for me. I'd choke him out just like I did Cyril. I'm the king of the jungle.
I see these things on, so that's from MMA Uncensored and Essentially Sports, but I don't see it anywhere else, so I don't know how legit this is. Just throwing that out there just in case.
You could just go to his Twitter, Chin.
I mean, no, he could be answering like okay, fine.
No, it's on his Twitter. I saw it earlier, bud.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. No, he said that. Unless he takes it down, but you know he'll do it in the comments though.
Yeah, so it'd be tough.
Yeah, it'd be tough. But yeah, he said it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that. It has to get through, Aspinall first. Like, nah, man. Nah, you fighting him.
Yeah, that'd be the best one.
By far. Book it. Alex Jones. We just got to have him get through Stipe. It's like this roadblock in our lives.
Steve.
Poor Stipe. I fucking love Stipe too.
Yeah.
Love him.
Wait, Alex Jones. Do you have Alex Jones give out the belt?
Bro, brilliant. Brilliant. You have Alex Jones do it, man. Give out the GOAT belt. That'd be sick. For Alex versus Jon Jones, we have a special announcer for you guys instead of Bruce Buffer. It's Alex Jones. That's what you do, man. Prelims, Joe Pfeiffer. I told you guys, the best thing that happened is he lost his last fight. It's early on. He's such a savage, and look what he did to this dude. Andre Fili, shout out. Can't believe him and Cub Swanson haven't fought 10 years before this. Then Peyton Talbot.
Yeah.
Boy's talented. And he's unique too, man. He's unique. Super talented. 19-second KO. Super talented. So, love Michelle Watterson. Shout out to her. She's like the nicest person on earth. I've known her for freaking forever. She's such a good person. Such a pioneer when it comes to women's fighting. She's an atom weight. She's a world champion. She's great for the sport. Obviously pretty, the karate hottie. Like, she put women's fighting on the map. She deserves that send-off the UFC did, and they need to do more of this, and it's great. She deserved that. But nobody deserved it more than Andrei Arlovski. They didn't even let him do a post-fight speech. He didn't even get to take his gloves off. And listen, I know the new kids who are just privy to the UFC because they saw, Sugar Sean on Twitch and, with his hair and you're vaping. You're like, this fight stuff's cool. Hey, you gotta show some God. Andrei Arlovski was a UFC heavyweight champ. Andrei Arlovski, dude, he's such a fucking savage. One of the greats. He beat Brendan Schaub in a split decision. Most people think he lost in Vancouver. And even he thought he lost. The guy's wins are insane. For them just like, thanks for the career. What? The Pitbull? We can't get a montage? I can't get something cool? Nothing?
So you're saying even though he was just cut, now not retiring, but you're saying he's been there for so long, he was a champion, his work, all the work that he's done there, he deserves something like that.
Bro, he's been fighting since like 1999 in the UFC. He's one of the originals, dude.
Is he one of the oldest ever
Yeah.
in the UFC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to his fucking resume. How my pee-pee taste, Chin?
How's taste my pee-pee?
How taste my pee-pee, Chin? How taste my fucking pee-pee?
You're the one that pops up. Damn, he left, came back.
So look at this. He fought, his first UFC was in the year 2000. The year 2000, Chin, and we can't get a video montage of his greatest fights? Keep going up.
Up.
Slow down. Then he won the heavyweight belt against Tim Sylvia with that Achilles lock in 47 seconds. In 2005, he became world champion. Then he defended the belt in 2005, shortly after against Justin Eilers. And then he defended it again. So he's a multi-time world champion, defending heavyweight champion in the UFC. Then he defended it by knocking out Paul Buenatello in 15 seconds. And then he lost it to Tim Sylvia and then had the rematch against Tim Sylvia. Those were great fights. Decision loss. He beat Verdum. Ever heard of him? Beat Ben Rothwell. Ever heard of him? I have. Beat Roy Nelson. Ever heard of him? I have. They lost to Fedor. Okay. Lost Brett. So the lead I see, the Strikeforce days, just keep going. Let's forget about that. That was a tough run.
Yeah. But it's cool they came back from all that stuff.
Oh, dude. He'll go on like losing streaks and just come out of nowhere. Like he got out of the UFC, then was fighting World Series of Fighting, and then fought in like some random fight in Belarus, and the UFC signed him. That's when I got the call to fight him, and we were teammates, which it wasn't fun for either of us. I beat him, whatever, and then so he beats me, and then beats Bigfoot Silva. That's before he was like all crazy and get knocked out with the wind. Like he was tough at the time, like super tough, and that was a fight night. He beats him as the main event in Brazil, and then beat Travis Brown. Remember that? That was fight of the night. He beat Travis Brown while Travis Brown was Travis freaking Brown. And then he beat Frank Mir. This isn't 2015. He's 35, 36 here. And then it gets tough. Because then after he beat Frank, then him and Stipe fought, and that was for the title eliminator, and Stipe knocked him out. And then it gets super tough. Then he loses Stipe, Overeem, Barnett, even though that Barnett one was a fun fight, Francis, and then Tiberia, but then picks himself up, 2-fight win streak, and then Tai Tuivasa, and that, and that. And then Ben Rothwell beats him, and then loses a Rosenstruck, and then 2-fight win streak, loses to Aspinall, and then then rips off 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row, and from 21-22, 4 wins in a row, and then 2020, end of 2022, it gets rough. He loses 1, 2, 3, 4. And now he's out of the UFC. And they didn't cut him as his last fight in his contract.
Well, I mean, they're not going to resign him, so.
But you got to give that out of any. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, 110%. Just give him the goddamn golden jacket while he's walking out. Andrei Arlovski, we can't get a 20-second video montage. How taste the pee-pee? Nothing? That's wild. You did for
That's
Korean.
insane.
You're telling me Korean Zombie did more for the UFC than Andrei fucking Arlovski? I know you're saying yes, Jen, but the rest are saying no. You tell me Michelle Watterson, and again, I love her. She deserves it. I'm just saying, what's right is right. If they didn't give Michelle Watterson one and then they didn't give Andre one, I'm like, that's messed up. They didn't get either of them one. But it's even more fucked up. You were aware that Michelle was doing it, and you made a montage, and then nobody thought to have it ready to go in the chamber? You know he only has a few fights left, if any. How they didn't make that when he was on the 4-fight, when he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Back in January of 2024, January 13th, when he lost to Waldo, somebody on the freaking marketing team came like, I think we should make like a tribute video to Andre soon. Someone can put an hour of work into get him How Taste My Pee-Pee legend, a fucking montage. The amount of work, the amount of money he's earned in the UFC. He's a Hall of Famer, bona fide Hall of Famer, first ballot. They should have been taking, when he was checking for fight week, they should have been taking his measurements for his golden jacket. And be like, hey, Andre, what do you think of the send-off video? Nothing.
Hopefully they'll still give him the Hall of Fame thing. I guarantee
they will. I guarantee he's in the Hall of Fame. Guarantee it. Have to. A multi-time defending world champion at heavyweight from 24 years ago and then still fighting. He also has the most fights, I think, in the history of the UFC. Huh? At heavyweight? It's Andre. He's fought for 20 years.
Jim Miller's 30 fights.
Keep going.
42.
That will never be broken in the heavyweight division. Never. Never. Never, never. Not even close. He's the Cal Ripken of heavyweight fighters. It will never be broken. The lighter guys, whatever. I'm saying as far as heavyweight, there's nobody even close. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's look at the top. Andrei Arlovski, he has 23 wins. So 42 fights, 23 wins. So look at the list. Cerrone, 55er, 70 sometimes. Clay Guida, 55er, Dos Anjos 55er, Stevens 55er, Damian Maia welterweight, Charles Oliveira 55er, Diego Sanchez 55er, Neil Magny 170. There's not even a middleweight that's even close to that. This motherfucker did it at heavyweight since 2000? How taste my pee-pee? They did a great job that night, but boy, did they drop the ball. Not nothing. You know how much footage they have on Andrei Arlovski? Even to throw shade at me, you could have put up a montage.
That's another good point.
Yeah. Even if you don't like me, show me I have the tennis ball hanging in my mouth, even though I won.
They could have done that, yeah.
That was an awful fight. But
You
still.
did win, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I won, Jim. We know this.
I know.
Thank you.
But also, Andre, he's one guy that when people say their chin goes away, they thought his chin went away a long time ago, and then he could start taking punches again. I don't know any other fighter that, like, Chuck couldn't do that. You know, when they say the chin's gone.
And he's doing that heavyweight chin.
And, yeah, it seemed like he would get knocked out fairly easily, and everyone thought his chin was gone. And then he started getting punched hard, and he's still there.
Dude, he went to, so remember when he lost to Fedor, he got knocked out. He threw that flying knee and like wobbled Fedor, and the Fedor's like, hold up, hold my fucking vodka, and then knocked him out. He was working at Wildcard, focused on boxing a lot, and he just like fell in love with that boxing, like the distance and all that, and started getting knocked out, doing a lot of boxing. When I was training with him, he's the best guy, and his dog was so cool. He's a little hard on him, but his pit bull was so dope. He was the greatest guy ever. He's such a nice guy. And we were grappling, and I always drink coffee. And I was like, I could just taste coffee's on my breath. I'm like, sorry for the coffee breath, man. He goes, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday was shit. I'm like, no, yeah, and also he was not trying to be funny. My breath was fucking fire. I get it.
From what?
Probably
Just not brushing teeth.
Eating shit, dude. I had a shit omelet in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't know. Yeah, he's such a good dude. Great guy. Lives in Chicago, family man. Such a good dude. Shout out to Andrei Arlovski.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't want to see him just hanging around doing that stuff.
Yeah, not like Antonio.
He's a smart dude. I bet he has a lot of stuff going on. You fucking pray to God he does. What else you got, Jen?
We got a bunch of them. Well, the real quick one with Jiri Prochazka, he did a video, a black background, saying like he has to evolve or he has to stop fighting.
Evolve or die.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Oh, I hate to say it. I don't know what you do. Here's the thing. Does he have to evolve? Because if Alex goes to heavyweight, you're the guy at light heavyweight. He beats damn near everybody. Jamal Hill, Gary should be the next fight. That should be the next fight. Jamal Hill and Yuri's a great fucking fight. That's what they should do. But he beats most guys not named Alex. So also at his age, what do you mean evolve? You mean you're going to start working on a high guard? Oh, bud, no. There's not enough hours in the day. Like your mechanic and your muscle memory, that's not what we do. He can grapple a little bit. So if you want to add more grappling into the mix, okay. But what makes you special is this chaos, dude. And Yuri, if you're listening, you're pretty fucking special, dude. You don't need to evolve and do all this crazy stuff and reinvent the wheel. You're better than 99% of the division, just not Alex. It's all good, bud. You're still the fucking man. He was still a world champion. You can still go out into the Czech Republic forest and hide away for 3 days and do your thing. Like, he's the ultimate warrior. So I think, and right now it's tough to lose a fight like that, and it's probably super tough on him, but somebody in his camp needs to go, bud, we should keep doing what we're doing, man. Like, this is your trademark. Like, you're a wild man. This is why people love you. This is what made you great. This is what made you a world champion. This is what made you millions of dollars. If you start becoming conservative and reserve your wildness, now you're just a guy with bad technique. Nah, man, you're unorthodox. You're fun to watch. You're a character. People love you to death. You're the ultimate warrior, dude. Like, be that guy. You just can't beat Alex. So for him, it's this identity crisis. But so hopefully somebody's in his ear being like, dude, no. Do you realize how special you are? He's so special. He's such a warrior. You just can't beat that guy. That doesn't mean you got to reinvent the wheel and become some Khabib-ish grappler. No. Save that for the birds, dude. What you do, nobody else can do, and that's what makes you special. That's what the UFC needs. Also, you can make a ton of money being that guy. You can make a ton, and who knows? Because Yuri's so unpredictable. Could you catch Alex? He can catch anybody. So maybe Alex goes to heavyweight, and maybe they give him Jon Jones and becomes a bigger star. Maybe, or he loses that fight, and then Alex goes, you know what? I actually think I belong at 205. But while he's doing work in heavyweight, you've racked up the wins. You beat Jamal. You beat these other guys. You beat Khalil Roundtree. I would favor Yuri over both those guys. So if he beats both those guys and Alex over here at heavyweight, well, here's a third chance, bud. And you can catch anybody. 9 times out of 10, are you going to beat him? No. Alex, with his fundamentals, it's not going to happen. You have too many holes in your game defensively. But you could get pretty wild and you can catch him. What if you catch him out the third time, bud? Let's take a little break because this episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and parts knowledge you'll need for all your maintenance and repairs of a 20-year-old Ford F-150 Lightning, and O'Reilly has everything either in stock or they order it online. I pick it up the next day. It's so freaking easy, and they're so helpful. They're so damn helpful. They can do it all. Whether you're a car expert or you're a rookie, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are super helpful and knowledgeable, and best of all, friendly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto do-it-yourself. You can find what you need in store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. Visit them at O'ReillyAuto.com/Schaub, SCHAUB. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Schaub. Let's get back to the program. But I hate when guys like, I got to do some deep soul searching and I get changed my, whoa, you are so special, dude. Don't do a thing. Because even if you're to lose to Alex a third time, you're making so much money, dude. And you've already checked the box. You're already a world champion. And maybe you're the guy eventually go to heavyweight. There's that option. You'd be the most athletic guy in the division. So I don't like that. That makes me sad. I'm sure the days are dark for him right now, like it's an Alaskan fucking winter, so he's so special. I hope he doesn't change a thing. Speaking of special, Paige Van Zant scores 2 slap knockdowns, wins in power slap debut. Good for her. I was always worried when people, Jesus Christ.
What?
Just look at this. Go ahead and do it.
Okay.
She said thank you. She was wobbled though.
Yeah.
Let me see the second one. I haven't seen any of this, Jen.
Okay.
Look at Paige. This is so fucking stupid. I get some.
Oh, she smiled right before too.
That didn't look like it was hard at all. And then is this the knockout?
Let's see.
Oh, damn, she's doing it in J's. Damn, doing it in some Jordan 1s. Shout out to Paige.
Yeah.
Thank God she won. Because if she would have got knocked down the first slap, it's like, oh my God. But she won. It was cool. These things get millions and millions of views like that, and that's what she wants. Like, shout out to her. Good for her, man. Good for her. Dana said slap fights can be bigger than the UFC.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with this. So overzealous Dana White claims power slap will be bigger than the UFC in just a few years. And he goes, remember I said that. I agree with him. Power slap will be bigger on social media than the UFC. As far as a business, as far as a sport, it's never going to be close. But again, if I'm Dana, run with it, dude. And it's dope. He's venturing out and doing this. I just don't like when they blur the lines and act like, they're the same caliber of professional athletes as UFC athletes because it's so fucking tough to get there. That's where I get annoyed. But as far as a business and views, he's crushing it. Who am I to say? I get like 10,000 views on everything I do. So he's crushing it, right? So I think he's conflicting social media views with actual fans and longevity. There's no longevity with this. As far as the TikToks and the YouTube shorts, 100%. You're going to beat the UFC. Because this is consumed in short consumption. People this day and age have a short attention span, and we'll watch somebody get slapped. That's all you need to see. But that would be like ISIS that does the beheadings going, dude, we're bigger than the NFL. That beheading we just did got 50 million views in 2 hours. We're looking for sponsorship. You know? It's like just because something's viral on the internet doesn't mean it actually has a fan base. There's a lot of morons who go viral weekly on TikTok and YouTube, and it's not a business. There's YouTubers out there's like Mr. Beast could say, I'm actually bigger than all the Premier Leagues, the NFL, Tom Cruise, Will Smith. I'm more famous. I'm actually bigger than all of them. Look at my YouTube shorts, or look how many likes I get. So there's a difference, you know? And again, the only thing I don't like is Dana's blurring the lines here. Like, I said this will be the biggest sport. I have an issue with calling it sport, but when he says, I said this will be the biggest sport in the world, this will be bigger than the UFC, now you're blurring the fucking lines, dude. And I love Dana. We're cool, dude. But this is my issue. When you blur the lines, we can't do that. You have to separate them. So even saying it's going to be a bigger sport than the UFC, you're blurring the lines there and you're making it a us versus them thing. I don't like that. Just let it live on its own, and it's crushing it. Kudos to him. I hope it sells for $7 billion. I'm sure he's going to sell it for $1 jagillion. But we can't pretend that it's even remotely the same thing. It's not even close. That's my problem with it. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I'll watch. I've never watched like a full card of it. Would I go to one? Sure. If they invite me, I'd go. I think it's entertaining, but also I have maturity where I don't compare it to sports. You know? Like, I'm not like, oh, do you see that Alex Pereira knockout? My brother's like, yeah, did you see Paige Van Zandt slap against that other girl? What? Can't have those in the same conversation. That's like me going, Chin, did you see the presidential debates? And you're like, yeah, did you see the new Tom and Jerry? Whoa, dude, one's real, one's not. You know what I'm saying? They're tomato here. Not even close, man. But, you know, that's Dana's business. And when people, you know, doubt him, this is what he lives for. I get it. No, I'm just glad it worked out for Paige, because that could have been a sad story if she got like knocked unconscious, you know. And then she's fighting that porno star, you know, in December. So you're like, fuck, dude. Because I like Paige. She's great. Thank God she won. Indeed.
So late last night, I think, Dustin Poirier started doing a bunch of tweets.
Uno Mas, one more. And they started going at Conor. Here's what's interesting about this. If I'm Chandler, I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
Because the UFC's like, wait, hold on. Dustin, you're down to fight Conor again? He's like, hell yeah. I'm going to call up Conor like, hey, do you want to fight Chandler or Dustin? He's like, Dustin. And poor Chandler, you know?
That would suck for Chandler bad.
I could see that happening.
But this is kind of like not normal, right? For Dustin to just constantly. This was for Islam Makhachev. He goes, if Arman can't fight, let's go again.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do... Well, I would be down for him versus
Islam
again, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good to call out Conor. It's not good for Chandler.
All right, that was the most recent thing I saw. This is just Sean Strickland saying that everyone's asking him to fight Whitaker. And then this is his claim as to why he doesn't need to, and he's going to wait.
He was like, keep getting asked to fight Whitaker. I beat Izzy. The world knows I beat Dricus. Correct. Whitaker lost to both. Facts. I'm the number one contender. I defend the spot easily against Costa. Yeah. He was, I will wait. Scroll down. Whitaker slapped his last opponent. You went to a boring decision.
People are going to talk smack no matter what on Twitter.
Yeah, it's tough, and you get like the rumblings is the UFC's not high on Sean, the fighter pay stuff, and then decision. So that's the word. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know who that could just be. Gossip, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out because if they want Strickland to be their star, they're gonna give him the next title shot. If they announce Strickland versus Whitaker, which they probably should, but if they announce Strickland versus Whitaker or Strickland versus Hamzat or enter any other middleweight, you know where he stands with the UFC. You know exactly where he stands with the UFC. But to Sean's point, I beat two guys who beat Whitaker. You want me to fight Whitaker? The only problem with that when you do MMA math is out of those guys, Sean Strickland's Whitaker's easiest matchup, if that makes sense. It's also Sean Strickland and Whitaker stylistically is a nightmare for him. Izzy, all striking, that's Strickland's game. But Duplessis, not exactly, the Khabib of the middleweight division. He's going to strike with him. He did lose to him. I thought he beat him. But again, it was a striking contest. Whitaker's going to strike with him, but it's a different cadence. It's a different dance. So his chances of beating Izzy, decent for sure, and he did beat him. His chance of beating Duplessis, definitely better than Whitaker. Whitaker, odds-wise, before the Izzy fight, we didn't think he had a chance. But now, the Strickland we know now and his defense, odds-wise and stylistically, Whitaker would be his toughest matchup. And if you're the UFC, you're going to want to see that, to see who's going to fight for the belt. And also, for Whitaker, it's tough to give Whitaker the winner of Duplessis Izzy. Because Izzy's beat him twice, right? Finished him. And then Duplessis finished him pretty recently. So no matter who wins that, you can't just give it to Whitaker. It's hard to sell that. But if he beats Strickland, you can sell that. I would bet money he fights Whitaker. I bet it gets announced fairly soon.
Yeah, and do you think because he tweets stuff like this or X's stuff like this that
this stuff doesn't matter?
Okay, I was gonna say
it does not matter. No, this doesn't. He could. Now, if he was like, I want Whitaker and put a date, that's gonna matter. The UFC goes, okay, let's do that. We're gonna do it anyway. But if you want to do it here, we're gonna do it there. You want to do it there? Whitaker, you down to do it there? All right, that works for us. But when guys go, I'm not fighting this guy, I'm waiting, you really don't have a choice. It just doesn't, the game doesn't work like that. The UFC has an idea what they're going to do, and they run the entire circus, and then the elephants have an idea what they're going to do, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Especially, Strickland, even though he's middleweight champ, but he doesn't have the longest resume to demand things like a Conor, or he doesn't have the leverage like a Conor Jon Jones. There's only two guys that were ever able to call their shots. And really one in Conor. He demanded so much power and just momentum, they had to bend the knee to Conor. He's really the only guy. Everybody else, you're going to do what they say. You have an idea, and on Twitter you can act tough, but his manager's going to call, and that goes out the window. Now, Sean might be like, hey, I'm not doing it. And the UFC's like, okay, dude. You can turn down Whitaker. You ain't fighting for a title. So if you don't fight Whitaker, you're going to sit and wait for Hamzat. Or they go, okay, you're going to fight Bo Nickel. You're going to be the first fight of the night on a main card. They're going to make it tough. That's how they can do this. But if you're Strickland, I get it. I'm with you, bud. I thought you beat Duplessis. Clearly beat Izzy. Whitaker lost to both. I get where you're coming from. But MMA math doesn't work. And you're going to do what they tell you. Just the way it goes. Unless you're Conor. But nobody is. So this stuff doesn't matter. And he didn't like blow the doors off of Paulo Costa where it's like these crazy highlights, you know? There's not much they can do with that. If he had like a head kick KO in the first round, then the UFC seemed like, yeah, he has a point. Let's take another little break here because July 4th is coming up, kids. It's coming up. You know you're going to have that barbecue. You can be around family and friends, and you can be having some drinks. That's what we do. It's America. Hot dogs, fireworks, drinks. And you're like, man, the next day my son might have a little league tournament. Or the next day I got to work out. I don't be hungover. I got you covered, fam. Or you're like, man, I want another shot or I want another drink, but I got to sober up. Well, what if I told you you can have that shot? You can wake up the next day feeling better than ever. I'm talking about Safety Shot, the world's first alcohol detoxifier that reduces blood alcohol content in as little as 30 freaking minutes. Sharper mind and body, liver support, well-being boost, gut support, hydration. We got you covered. So this July 4th, have a drink on me. Have a drink on Safety Shot. All you got to do is go to drinksafetyshot.com, promo code Brendan, you get a 4-pack, 10% off. That's drinksafetyshot.com, promo code Brendan, Brendan, Starbucks. You get 10% off. Drinksafetyshot.com. Let's get back to the program. And what are you going to do with what about Whitaker? Remember, there's two people involved here. It's not just about Sean. Because Whitaker's coming off that big, huge win, did the UFC a solid in Saudi Arabia, fought this random fucking tough dude, starched him. Ikram in a highlight reel. And he needs one more dance partner. You know, so Sean could get left out to dry. Because if Whitaker's wins another one and it's not Strickland, Strickland back of the bus, bud. Say Hamzat was like, you know what, I feel great. And they do Whitaker, Hamzat in Madison Square Garden November. Strickland. Whitaker, bar none, is going to get a title shot, dude. If he finishes Hamzat or Bo Nicholas, somebody like that, because Strickland's like, nah, I refuse to fight. I'm going to wait. The circus keeps fucking going, dude. It's never stopped for anybody. Circus does not stop.
And he's like, I'm pretty sure he's still like the current like backup fighter for the Izzy Dricus in case someone gets hurt or something.
Robert came out and was like, I'm not a backup fighter. He goes, I know they want to be. He goes, I'm not a backup fighter. You are, if they tell you are. You are. But he goes, I have news for you guys. So who knows what that is? Because the other thing the UFC would do in the past, maybe, I'm not saying the current regime does this, but what they've done in the past is they'll announce Whitaker Strickland, and Whitaker signs a contract, and Strickland's like, no, dude, I told you title shot. And they announce it to put all the fan pressure on Strickland. Then he goes, no, I'm not doing it. And then they just make sure that the viewers and audience hates them. They'll play that game. That's back in the day. Now I don't know. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, they used to announce it. And you're like, no, I said, and I went, okay, tell the fan base you pulled out. Tell the fan base you're not taking it because they seem pretty excited. You tell them because it's the fight we want. So we want you to tell them why it's not happening. They'll do that. You just can't win, dude. You just can't. I'd be willing to bet he doesn't fight for a title next. Because again, you remember there's Whitaker too. And Whitaker's finishing dudes. They like that.
All right, next one.
Yeah, man. That's it, dog.
So this gets a little darker. I guess one of Khabib Nurmagomedov's teammates or whatever got arrested for something to do with ties to some terrorist attack, right? In Dagestan, I think. And then Conor started, hold on right here.
Conor's relentless about this stuff, and boy, does it go dark.
Super dark.
If you guys remember, Conor was saying this about Ali
Abdelaziz
forever and Khabib's camp. Like especially in the height of all that, when they threw the dolly and all that, like this was a narrative. Conor and people were like, you're crazy, man. Calling this guy a terrorist? Okay. Mystic Mac strikes again. So Conor put in the terrorist gym, when a tester showed up, they would hold him hostage and give a random clean person's urine versus the fighters they were looking to test. All will come out now. When this comes down on top of them, watch what surfaces. This is a video of Khabib walking into a premises full of people and smashing it up entirely with a bat, threatening all those inside. All will come out, Mystic Mac.
He said there was a video, but I don't know where that's at.
He goes, I fought this little bitch made rat with a full broken foot. That's true. I should have postponed like I'd done this time. True. For what I did, I give this little cousin fucker any advantage for. He shit himself on that bus and showed his true chicken heart. Bitch made spoiled brat. He even spelled spoil, whatever. Now you are effed. When you die, I celebrate. That's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much for me. That's too much. The cousin fuck, you had me at cousin fucker, but the when you die, I'll celebrate. It's too much for me, even Connor. And I'm a Connor shill. That's too much. That's too much.
All right, we kind of talked about this earlier, but so the 306 Noche is rebranded to Riyadh Season Noche UFC at the Sphere.
Yeah, Mexicans have to wear turbans. It's gonna be sick.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but of course that guy Turkey Al Sheikh is helping to fund it, so they're like
because it's such an expensive event. Dana called up that Sheik money.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we'll do it. You know, we like Vegas. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, just going to make it a crazy event. I tell you what, if there's one UFC to go to, that would be the one. And
tickets were insane.
And I hate leaving town, but man, bro, that'd be the one thing I'd get up for. Depending on the card, but.
I'm sure it'll be a great card.
I would assume they put so much into production. It looks so dope.
And here's a little meme. Not even a meme. It's just, this is Dana White with that guy, Turkey Al Sheikh. And I think this is what the past event in Saudi Arabia.
5-year-old me walking with dad while he tells stories about the UFC. Let me see. Bro, and they're not just like holding hands. They're interlocked. That's how much money this dude's giving the UFC. If someone wanted to give my business money, dude, I'll hold your cock. Like, whatever it takes, dude. But this is the power of the Sheik, man. You know, that's Dana White, dude. Dana White's finger locking hands with another man. But also, that's also their culture.
It is their culture.
Like Brian lived over there and was like, yeah, man, like all friends, we just held hands like down the street, which it's all good. That's fun, dude. And said he came to America.
I tried to do the same.
He made friends. It was like trying to hold their hand, like, get off me, gay boy. And he's like, whoa, I thought we were friends. Like, we are, dude. You don't have to hold my hand, weirdo. But it's a cultural thing down there.
Yeah.
It's also a power move, dude. I'm going to start holding people's hands.
Did you see this video of Ian Garry's
cute,
kid
dude.
doing impressions?
So cute. And Ian Garry's like fluent in like 4 different languages.
Dude, his Portuguese sounded freaking incredible.
When he's talking with Alex, and then his son speaks Spanish. You know why I like this is because all that negative, horrible, toxic shit about his family and stuff, this makes you realize, hopefully, if you're somewhat of a decent person, like, oh yeah, he's a little boy. Now, you might just be an evil person. I'm sure there's comments in that even double down on that toxic shit and you're a terrible person. That's the internet. Internet's going to internet. But I liked it because you're like, oh, yeah, Ian Garry's dad. Oh, maybe I'm off on this guy. And he just beat Michael Venom Page. And he's undefeated. You know, there's a lot to like about him. If you're doing well in life and you're viewing the world in a positive manner, there's a lot to like about Ian Machado Garry. Now, if you're a negative person and the glass is always half empty and you're miserable in your life, there's a lot to hate on. It just depends what angle you're coming from. But his son, this is so cute. How you can't watch this video and be like, all right.
Conor McGregor. Como faz Poaton?
That kid's young too, man. Was he 1.5?
Como faz o Max Holloway? Como faz o Max?
So cute.
Let's go. This kid is awesome. Como faz o Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
So cute.
Very smart for that kid. All those impersonations
Hell
already.
yeah. I could barely get through that. myself. I do Connor. I'm like, I don't know.
Shara, the bullet or the pirate, he's going to be in a Hollywood movie
Fucking
as a
right he is.
killer.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Were they going to book him in a romantic comedy? He's a fucking pirate in a movie, killing guys. And what happened to he can't come to the States and fight?
The fighting's a different thing. I don't know.
Nah, fuck that noise. It's not. The commissions don't give a fuck.
But what do you think it is?
Just gossip. Like if he can come over to shoot a Hollywood movie and get it's the passport
The
thing.
visa.
So it's a
working
government thing. It's not the commission thing. So what the fuck, dude? Start fighting in America. Dude, but if I'm from the Middle East or Russia or Dagestan, I'm like, I got visa issues, bro. We got to fight in my backyard. Because then you don't have to make the travel like all the Americans do. I just do that. I'm trying, man. They flagged my shit. I'm going to have to fight in the next one. Oh, well, we got the Mexican card run, the Sphere. That's sponsored by the Saudi Arabians. I know. It has to be here, though. You know? I would just keep doing that. Forget all that traveling.
All right. So Jake Paul versus Mike Perry.
I can't wait for that card.
Which Sphere or this one?
This one,
Okay.
bro.
I don't know.
Did this in on the Sphere?
No. I thought because we were just talking about Sphere.
No,
Never
no,
mind.
no.
Okay,
The
so
thing you brought
so
up.
yeah, Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. The undercard has Uriah Hall versus Julio Cesar Chavez.
What
Jr.
happened to Darren Till? It's supposed to be
I
Darren
don't
Till,
think-
Julio Chavez. Did it say anything with Darren
I
Till?
didn't see the Darren Till thing, but let's look.
I know Darren Till announced a fight recently, but it's weird because I don't know what happened to this. Maybe the change of dates? I don't know.
No, nothing in this article.
It's weird not to follow up and be like, Julio Chavez Jr. is supposed to fight Darren Till. Darren Till's out because of or due to. See, this still has him fighting.
It's in May though,
Yeah, it's old.
so they just didn't say anything. Rebooks boxing. Hold on, let's look at this.
Darren Till rebooks boxing debut at an event called Social Knockout 3. Okay, that can't be good.
Against two.
So he competes this Saturday in Dubai against a guy named Mo Mute.
Muti.
His
2-1
nickname's the
record.
Palestinian Gorilla. He's 2-2 in MMA. Weird. I wonder why. I wonder why he pulled out.
I don't know.
Maybe they're paying him buku dollars for that. Yeah, I root for Darren Till, but that's weird to go from that to an event called Social Knockout. Hopefully he does well. Sounds like an easier fight, that's for sure.
You know what? That's pretty much it for current events. I saw this video go viral though. So it's a referee that stopped this guy's fight because he got knocked down, or he was out of it. So the guy that got the fight stopped, he comes after the referee, and then I'll show you this.
That guy's never gonna box again.
And watch this.
OB suspend. Oh, terrible punch.
Very bad punch, and then he runs out of the ring. But yeah,
Boxing gonna box, man. That's boxing. I'm more concerned about the punch the ref threw.
it was like this.
But that was during Pride Month, so he's good. Is that it, dude?
That's pretty much it, dude.
All right, kids. I'm full of energy. I'm back from Alaska, murdering a lot of halibut. Did my thing, caught over 75-pound fish, got a hat for it. Okay. It took me about 40 minutes to reel it in, almost threw out my back. The rod broke, not a big deal. Your boy still got it done. Still got done. And then my son beat it with a bat. That's what we do now, dude. I'm fisherman. That's why I'm wearing hunting gear. What's up? Holler. But everything's winding down to July 8th, the giveaway truck. It's happening. July 8th, it will be live. The merch is so fire. We've been working on it for a hot second. We collabed with King Shocks on this project. So it's King Shocks and Dry Fast All Gas merch collab. And you can enter your chance to win this badass F-150 Roush pre-runner. Paired up with McNeil Racing, Kibitech, King Shocks, Blitzkrieg, Borla, MP Exhaust, Raceline Wheels. They're true bead locks. This thing's gonna be badass. I hope whoever wins it actually uses it for what it's for. If you like Raptor R's, this thing will poo-poo all over Raptor R in every facet. The interior is getting done right now at SOS Customs. SOS, I think it's out or it's coming out in July. SOS is the custom shop for the new series on Netflix called Pimp My Ride, but not like MTV's Pimp My Ride. We're putting fish tanks and shit in the cars. They actually do high level interiors. So they're doing the interior on the giveaway truck. Wait till you see this freaking truck. One of one Roush F-150 pre-runner. It goes live. The contest will be for 60 days. After 60 days, a winner will be announced. You win by buying the merch and getting entries, and you'll find out more information July 8th, and it's live. All you got to do is sign up at drivefastallgas.com. I cannot wait. Glad to be back. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, doing all the things they tell you to do on YouTube. If you're listening, shout out to you. Hopefully your work day is going well. I'm out.